All right, it is Wednesday night. It is time for Notary Meet and Greet. We were just checking in with a couple of our Texas notaries just to see how things were. Our thoughts, hearts, and prayers are going out to everybody that's been displaced by this winter storm in Texas. I've been seeing a lot and a lot of ingenuity. It just really reinforces the fortitude of the American spirit. I don't care what happens or what we go through, what region we're in. We figure stuff out. That right there is what I'm seeing across the board. So, but tonight is Notary Meet and Greet. So let's talk about what you guys want to talk about first. Who's new? Who's here for the first time? Let's go ahead and say hi to you. Anybody?
Yeah, I am for certain.
Hey, Richard.
Hi.
Welcome. What state are you from?
I'm up in Alaska, so it's always cold.
Wow, so you're like laughing at us right now. Like, what are they talking about?
Well, I know the lower 48 is not made for, the extreme temperatures, so it's definitely not laughing like that. A lot of my family's down in the lower 48, but they're all further north, so it's not anything like Texas is dealing with right now.
Right. So what's the notary world like in Alaska? Do tell. What part of Alaska?
I'm in town, or I'm in Anchorage, I guess, is most of it. I do a lot of site inspections, asset inspections, loan signings. There's not a lot of general notary work for whatever that's worth. I don't know why. I haven't figured that one out yet. But as for asset inspections, since there's no counties in Alaska, I am a notary for the entire state. And so I've got some people who will contact me and be like, hey, can you go, way out in the middle of nowhere? And I'm like, yeah, sure. It'll cost you, but it doesn't bother me any. I did 3 site inspections for a weed shop recently. And basically it's a 5-hour drive round trip. And I had to do that 3 times because they weren't open until the third trip.
I love the sound of that travel feed is just, I don't even hear it, but it sounds so good. Did you say 5 hours one way?
5 hours round trip. So it's like 2.5 one way for this one.
Okay.
There was another one they wanted me to do, and I quoted them like $600. And I'm like, that's the cheapest I could do. I can drive there and it'd be like 6 hours in one direction, or I can look at an airplane. But if I get an airplane, because with COVID, there's 1 flight a day. And so even then I'd have to rent a car, stay overnight, and then I'd be able to fly back the next morning. So it's still like $600 at the cheapest.
Right. And they probably had no problem paying you your fee because who else are they going to get, right?
That's my question. They said no to the $600 one, but I did that. I did that other trip 3 times, and it was no less than $120 each time.
Wow, that is awesome. I never knew Alaska didn't have counties.
Yeah, there's nothing. And
every day.
More than half of the state's population lives in town here.
Oh, so that's another thing I thought. I assumed it was sparsely populated, like with people living in Alaska and wanting to be out in nature, but that's not the case. It's all, everybody's jam-packed in.
A lot of them are all in town, but there's still plenty of people out.
Let's mute. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, no, there's still plenty of people out in the boonies. There's a number of settlements that you cannot reach without either a plane or a boat, and most of the year it's going to be a plane.
Yeah, watch them on Discovery. That's like one of my things I do on Saturday morning. There's a show that comes on, and it's just like, I just love watching it. I love watching them get fish out of the frozen ice and save it, and the dogs, and it's just relaxing. So
Discovery Channel is actually just up here filming in the airport they're going to do like a whole breakdown on our local airport.
Cool. Yeah, I would imagine Discovery stays in Alaska for one reason or another.
Right.
All right, who else we got? Well, welcome, Richard. Who else do we have new on the call tonight? Anybody?
I'm Tanisha Melson, and I'm from Michigan.
Welcome. What are you doing in the notary space in Michigan?
I'm actually a real estate agent, so I just do some signings like for people just in general, but I'm looking to change over, so that's how I ended up in this group.
Well, I'm glad you're here because I'm a broker. I don't know if you knew that, but this is perfect. I tell all real estate agents who are notary publics, you should immediately start looking at developing a signing service, or at the very least, a notary suite. And we'll talk about that a little bit tonight. Pam Johnson brought that to the call a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and it's something that's been stirring in my mind. But welcome. How's y'all's weather in Michigan? I know it's probably cold like everywhere else.
Yeah, Cole, we got a bunch of snow yesterday, and we'll get a couple more inches tomorrow. But
Yeah,
it's not like Texas. We're used to it, so
right. Well, welcome to the call.
thank you.
Who else we got new on the call today?
Hi, I'm Tony Yvonne Antoinette.
Hey, Tony Yvonne Antoinette. How are you?
So, I wasn't going to say anything at first until you start talking about real estate. I just got my real estate license.
Yay!
I'm a paralegal for the court in LA County. Well, I've been off injured. I just had surgery, so I've been off for recovering for about 2 years. And I'm thinking about getting back into notary work.
Okay.
And I did loan signings like maybe 15 years ago. So I take my notary test Saturday here in LA.
Nice. Yeah, because I heard California is a whole different beast when it comes to testing and commissioning, and the process is a lot more stringent in California than in some other places I've heard.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. So when you did this 15 years ago, you were doing loan signings, you say?
Yeah, I did loan signings 15 years ago. I've been a notary off and on like the majority of my adult life.
Wow.
And I've only did loan signings like one time. I did about 10 and then I messed up on one. And I stopped doing it. And I didn't do it. It really wasn't for the money because, you know, I was making good money. So this was just like something to do on the side because I was bored. So I was like, I don't want to mess these people pay. You know, I don't really need the money.
Right.
I don't want to be greedy and mess up some paperwork.
Right.
I made that one mistake.
Good for you though. Because I wish more people would take it like, you know, seriously like that. And if you know you're not going to be into it, don't. But here's the thing, you got that knowledge from that paralegal space, coupled with you seeing documents come through the court space, coupled with the fact that you just got your real estate license space. You're gonna be a beast in these streets. Have you gotten your remote online notaries? Are y'all doing remote?
Not in California.
Man, when they start even talking about doing remote, do it and go straight to attorneys. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Attorneys. All right, well, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else new? Want to say hi? Or we're going to get started? Well, let's get started. Okay, so tonight is there anybody that wants to talk about anything before I start running my mouth? Anything?
Hey, Monica, this is Suzette. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. I don't really want to talk about anything especially, but I just want to say thank you. I watched about the wills and the trust. Oh my gosh, that was life.
That part. Girl, I was on that class like I knew because he told me, I'm just not gonna really go into anything a lot different than I normally do. And I was like, really? I really want you to cater this to the notary world because I thought it was gonna be like a general estates and wills presentation. Girl, when he started talking about the pour over wills and who you girl, I was like, this is life. Like, I'm gonna get remote online just specifically to target to attorneys. Right. Just to be their partner. So
yes. It was good. And also I did pay attention because I said I need to get a living will and all that together too. So that was good. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Same here, sis. Same here. All right. So tonight, there are two things that I want to talk to you about. Two very important things. The community service program. Okay, so I am hyper focused on memberships. Okay, memberships is a business model that you might already know about. HelloFresh, you may get razors on a subscription. Who all gets stuff on subscription? Anybody? Just to raise your hand if you can on your computer so that we can just take a little do a statistical analysis real quick. If you have a subscription service, and that can include Notary Nerds, raise your hand. Okay, you got 1, 2. All right, let me raise my hand because I have one. I'm paying for my own. Okay. Looks like, so we get it, right? So the thing about subscriptions is they've come about because of technology. back in the day, industry was based on creating a product, a gadget, and selling that gadget to a customer when they came to the store and they saw this thing at the store. But now, due to technology, what it's allowed for people to do is allow for people to understand what the customer is going to do with this thing versus just building this thing and selling this thing. Now they have the ability to determine, hey, if Monica is going to buy this thing, she's probably going to create her a YouTube channel. So she probably is going to need some information on how to do that. So we're going to send her, an opportunity to be a part of our subscription to learn how to do that. That's just an example. Because now industry has changed due to technology. Well, there is no industry that can't do a subscription model. Let me repeat that in a different way. Every industry can do a subscription model, which brings us to the community service program for notaries. It was one morning, I'd had my coffee and I was sitting here thinking about Notary Nerd University. And I said, well, that's working for me, right? It's a great business model for me, but how can I teach the notaries how to make the same subscription model work for them? How would that look? Well, signers are not going to subscribe to pay them to teach them the notary business. Signers are not going to subscribe to have a notary on call because most people rarely need a notary. And when they do, they just need it quick and that's it, right? Title companies have already got that system is already well defined. We're not going to be reinventing any, wheels with that. So how would it work? Well, businesses like hospitals, businesses like even churches, businesses like apartment complexes, businesses like group homes, and places like manufacturing facilities or warehouses that have large numbers of people, okay? Businesses would be more likely to subscribe to an on-site notary. So I said, okay, well, why would businesses be more likely to do that? Let me kind of pull up my little ebook that I made so I can have a guide so I don't go flying all over the place. But before I go on, so far, you guys chime in and tell me what you think.
Well, I actually had a question about this because I watched your video earlier today, and I know in the other states, some of them have the guidelines, where notaries can only charge so much per notarial act and all of that. So how would that play into this subscription model? Because, if the client were to misconstrue the information and say, oh, we're paying, $50 a month for so many signatures, then couldn't they take that to the commission's office and end up getting you in trouble?
That's a good question. Good question. So no, and here's why. Because it's a community service program. Let me kind of open this up. The subscription, the notarizations are free. Y'all hear that? The notarizations that the customer is getting or that the people would get at the place of business are free. So this is basically how it would work. So you would go to a company because, again, a part of our jobs as public officials a part of our job as a public official is to serve the community, right? And we do it in different ways. Our journal just doesn't need to have a bunch of fees for loan signings or a bunch of, loan signing oriented journal entries, right? A part of the reason we got our public commission, when you swore to do what you're doing as far as being a notary, you were going to serve the public. And so that means that you're going to do some stuff for free every now and then, right? Maybe you pick teachers or doctors or firemen or police officers, but every now and then in your journal, you have entries where it says $0, right? Just because it just kind of goes in line with the whole public official situation. Well, this community service program is the business, not the individual. So that's what saves us there, Richard, because it's not the individual is not getting charged anything. So they wouldn't have a grievance to the first, right? Because what's happening is the business is saying, hey, this would be a great value add service for my tenants or my doctors and nurses or my employees at the warehouse, so that if they need something notarized, I can go ahead and secure this notary. They're going to either come in one day a month, on a given day that I get to pick on their website, or they're going to come in every other week or every week or whatever. But at least, because I've got all these doctors or all of these mortgage people or all of these whoever that are likely going to need notarizations. And instead of us having to run a notary down or have to have the liability of one of our employee notaries do it, right? Because there is that aspect, right? Because that's what we're going to educate the business on. You know, sometimes in some situations, it's more of a liability than not to have an internal employee notary conduct a notarization. Depends on the situation of what's being notarized. So why not just absolve yourself of that liability or potential liability by just letting me, an outside notary, not related to your organization, come in one day a week and take care of everybody for you at no additional cost to them. So does that answer your question, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, Alaska's pretty Wild West as far as the notarial charging goes, but I was just curious, you know, after you had, from how you explained it in the video, you know, that was the first flag that caught up to me.
Exactly. Is what if that, you know, those fees, but see how it works is your business owner is only going to subscribe based on how much they want you to come by. And the other piece, and does anybody else know what the other potential issue could be? Did y'all pick up on it yet or no? Should I just go ahead and tell you?
The fees for it?
What about the fees?
How would you charge them for it?
Okay. What would you think? How much, I mean, what would you like?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I'm thinking like per time, or maybe you get so many times a month that I would come out. I don't know.
Right. So how I envision it, and this is just brand new, so this is not in any way written in stone or anything like that. So basically you would let these specific businesses, you ain't doing this for everybody, okay? This is not for everybody. This is only for a key group of businesses that you've identified. I would put hospitals on the list, certain apartment complexes on the list, people that you know have a lot of employees that may need your services on a semi-regular basis. And then over here, the business would select their subscription. So if they wanted you to come out every week, then that subscription will be $100 a month, right? And the days that you have available, you would predetermine those days, and they would be the only days that the business could select. So you go in and you set up your calendar, isolating days that you're willing to do this on. Because again, you still have your loan signings that you're dealing with, you still have your general notary work that you're dealing with. So there may only be 10 days out of the month that you have set aside for this what? Community service program, right? So on the face of your commission, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And on the spirit of your commission, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. The big question should be from you guys is, how am I going to make any money? Right? Because if I'm going to, you know, if I'm posted up in the cafeteria at the hospital once a week, and I'm doing 5 or 6 or however many notarizations a day. And again, you set your times up just like you set your days up. You might only do it from 10 to 2. You know, it's not like you're there all day. All of these things you decide. You come up with on your calendar before anybody can even schedule, right? So you set it up how you want it to be set up. So they may have 6 or 7 people come, and each of those notarizations may have been, you know, $10, $15, $20 each, but they are free. Right? Because again, this is a community service program. So you're not charging them extra. You're not charging the people that are getting their notarizations done anything extra, right? The perk that they get is their employer or their landlord or whomever has made this service available to them for a convenience to them. That's the selling point to the business. To you, what you have in effect done, my friends, is you have gotten your target audience to pay you to get more leads. Because guess what? This subscription is only good for the day that the business subscribes to, or days. So when someone needs a notarization at this place and it's outside of that subscription, what they're going to do is say, hey, you know what? We've got Sebastian, he'll be here on Saturday. And they're going to say, you know what? I really need somebody right now. Could you call him and see if he could do this for me? So what's going to happen is by you setting that subscription up with them, you're going to inadvertently create more business for yourself because people are going to need you outside of that day. It's going to happen. How often it's going to happen, who knows? On the other side of it, if you really did want to go ham with it, you really could make a nice little extra piece of change just setting everything up on a subscription, long as your dates are, long as you've got availability to do it, right? And I'm just playing with numbers here. I said 30 a month, 40 a month, 60 a month, 100 a month. But you know, you could do what you think the business would support, would be likely to support. I wouldn't get too crazy. I would make sure that my fee, you know, was, you know, something that they're not going to have a difficult time cutting the check for. When you start getting up in price, people start to really consider, is this really worth it? Or do I really love my employees that much to offer this to them? Or is it, yeah, it's worth it because I'm a mortgage banker and I've got 32 employees and I need to make sure, come in and go in, and I need to make sure da happens, right? And I want somebody here at least once a month, and I'm okay paying $30 a month for that. You see? So let me stop and let you guys kind of chime in as far as what you think and what you're hearing and all of that good stuff. Crystal.
I'm a little confused. How is the notary making money again?
So the notary's making money because they're either turning up and getting a lot of subscriptions from a lot of businesses, right? They're either going out and they're getting, you know, soliciting, you know, 50, 60, 70 businesses a week in hopes to get them to subscribe to the $30 a month or the $40 a month for them to come out twice a month. So either the notary is making money from selling subscriptions, and you can just play with the numbers and see how many subscriptions you would need to sell in order to make how much money based on just this pretend fee sheet. So you're making money like that. Then you're going to inadvertently make money because, and then not only are you making money like that, before I go on, that's steady money that you don't have to worry about not happening until they cancel. That's money that's consistently going to come in every single month. That's the beautiful thing about a subscription. Your customer says, hey, here I am. And as long as you're giving me value, I'm going to be here. But just as soon as you stop giving me value, I'm canceling and I will see you later. It's called churning. So the notary is going out and they're going to the customer and they're saying, they're turning into a salesperson. Not a real salesperson, because how hard is it to sell a community service program? You get your little flyer and you go to the local Nissan plant, or you find the HR person or whomever is in charge of this kind of thing. And you say, or maybe start with an apartment complex and you let the leasing officer know or the manager know, hey, look, I'm a notary and I have a community service program. I'll come by and do notarizations for your residents at no charge. Here's my list. And it's a real convenience because a lot of times when people need a notary, they don't really know where to go, and they don't want to charge, they don't want to get charged, you know, big travel fees and whatnot. But if you subscribe and offer this as a perk to your residents, I'll come out, depending on how often, and do them for free. My pitch was sloppy, but you get the point. Like, so you're doing that all day. And it's not really selling. You're actually should be out there marketing yourself anyway. So this is even this is like a cool way or creative way to market it and monetize your efforts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Monica, this is Suzette. I think that's a good idea because I know a lot of times, even in the, I guess, leasing office for, you know, renting apartments, they don't know who's a notary in the area. So someone moves from out of town and they need to get something notarized. I'm not sure what you would get notarized renting an apartment, but obviously it's something. If you're coming from out of town and you don't know where to go and the leasing office doesn't know where to go, but you know, even if they don't subscribe to what you're offering and you leave your card,
exactly.
You know, you can also let them know, okay, well, I appreciate it. If you want to do it, give me a call. If you're interested later on down the line, give me a call. But if anyone should come, you know, come to your office and are looking for a notary, you have my information. I would appreciate it if you would just share it with them.
Exactly.
So that's a plus right there. And then, like you said, it's a community-based thing. So now they know that there's a mobile notary in the community.
Right. You know, Suzette, you just really brought up a good point. It gets us to move our feet. Because a lot of times when we think about how do we market, you know, going direct, you know, going to the title companies, dropping off, doing different things. This is just another kind of way that you could market Get
Yes.
yourself to move your feet to market yourself, right?
And then we get to know the business owners in the community as well.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Vanessa, yes, you got your hand up?
I just have a question. Like, for an example, with like hospitals, are you talking just about the employees that are of the hospital, but what about the patients?
That's a great question. I think it should be for everyone. I absolutely think, the target, in order to get the HR person to tell accounts payable to cut you a check, it needs to be for doctors and nurses. They need to understand, why am I paying for this? Okay. So when you're selling this to a business like a hospital, yes, of course you would help in notarized documents for patients if that was something that you would be willing to do. But your pitch, your sales pitch is, not only will we help be available for your doctors and nurses, for patients, but also your doctors and your nurses too, right? So you want to make sure that the entity who would be going to your website, clicking, or you would up your marketing game, and you would get a card that had a QR code on it. Y'all know what those QR codes are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your card and your website would be where they would go and sign up for this, because you don't want to be dealing with a whole bunch of paper. You want it all to be automated. So I can't remember where I was going, but yeah, so you would up your marketing game so that your marketing pieces would say whatever it needs to say: doctors, nurses, patients, free notarizations for y'all. I think it, I'm one that comes up with lots of ideas though, so sometimes I have to bring it back. That's why this is good, because you guys will say, yeah, no, but yeah, so I don't know, Vanessa, did I answer your question?
No, you did. I mean, I just have to wrap my brain around it just to kind of figure out, well, who's going to be paying for it,
Right. Yeah,
And
right.
the other thing is like, well, I guess if you have a calendar, then who needs what, because you would have to force them, other than giving yourself a window to just show up. Do you know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah, your calendar would clearly be determined before you started this marketing. You would have maybe 4 or 5 days available for this community service program. It's kind of like going to volunteer to pick up trash, right? You've got a day or two set aside to do this community service thing, and that's basically what you're going to be doing. So you would only have a few days, and then again, it's going to be between 9 and 2, or between 10 and 4, or between, you ain't going to be there all day, So the people would know this, because why? Once they set it up, they're selecting the day they want you to come out. Okay. And then they'll make an announcement to the employees or whomever, the notary will be here in the break room from dump to dump, social distance rules are in effect, boom, boom, boom. You show up and you do all the notarizations, and you're leaving everybody a card. Okay. You're not exchanging any money. This is a community service, but I think it's going to end up being a more than about the money thing, because I think the money would be something that came after the fact of people having your card, or people not being able to come on that particular day and needing a notary outside of that space.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Not to mention, if you do go get, $30 to have a notary come by once a month for a few hours. So say you got 6 or 7 of those, you know what I'm saying? That's a couple extra $100. You could turn this up and down. You could sell subscriptions and determine, you could work your way backwards. Let's do that, because I'm a visual type person. Let me go to
I was thinking you can treat it like the food truck. The food truck needs so much money deposit for them to park in your parking lot, and then they'll make all the sales for the food. But that way you have established that that the food truck will be here between these times. You can go out and get lunch if you want, get all your documents notarized. But if the food truck's not making it profitable that day, they can be like, you know what, we'll stay here for an hour or whatever. If nobody needs anything, we're going to move on to somewhere where we can make money. That way we're not burning our tank.
Exactly. That's a whole nother model. That could definitely work. There's so many different, like I said, this is like one of those ideas that kind of came, and it was kind of one of those, and I really didn't think of all the details. So there's so much room for creativity, and what am I trying to say? When you make something customization, there's so much room for customization in the local markets that, you know, you could really kind of take this and kind of go crazy with it. Like you could make it look how you wanted it to look. Maybe you don't want to deal with anybody who's not going to subscribe under $100. Maybe you don't want to deal with a company that doesn't have, you know, at least 1,000 employees. You know, maybe you don't want to deal with, you know, hospitals, or maybe you want to focus on the whole thing is a place that has a large amount of people. Think business that has a large amount of people. That's all. That's your only thing. Apartment complexes, hospitals. You know, if you guys are in like a place that has a lot of manufacturing facilities, that kind of thing is where you want to. That's where you would want to focus. So let's just kind of look at the. Let's just play with some numbers. Just nothing serious or whatever the case may be. Just I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let me see here. Any more questions though while I've got this pulled up? I'm missing Zara tonight. I cannot believe she is not on the call. I cannot believe I have not heard from her. Like I need to check in on her. Okay, let's just say tri-monthly is 3 times a week. I mean, 3 times a month, and weekly. All right. And let's just say the $30 and I don't know what, $60. I guess $90. And let's just do 100 for that, even though we would normally, and we were following that pattern, we would normally do 120. When you get over $100, you start getting close up there. You want, just numbers wise, psychologically wise, you want to stay somewhere where you think that people wouldn't be likely to cut off. But if you want to go 120, go 120. Okay, so anyway, so that's the frequency, right? Hold on, let me go back up here. There we go. So that's the frequency. And let's just say, give me some ideas on some businesses. Anybody? Let's just play around with hospitals. Hospital. Everybody's got at least one hospital in their city, I would imagine, right? Let's say apartment complexes. I don't know how many. Let's just say
tow truck companies. How about tow truck companies?
Ooh, girl, you said something when you said that, because you know what? A lot of times people can't get their car from being out of the tow yard unless the tow truck driver has a release. So tow truck companies. So that's a good one. Even though it's not a business with a lot of people, it deals with specific notary specific stuff. So that's a good one that may benefit from a on-site notary, or at least to have that relationship. All right, so let's just say you have hopefully 20 or so businesses that you can go and get subscriptions from. Let's just say, okay? We're just gonna call them whatever they are. And then you've got, and you sell however many, I'm doing this the wrong way. Let me not complicate it. Let me delete that. And let's just do quantity. So you've got 10 subscribers per month for the $30. Okay, that's $300. Okay, so this is how you would go and figure, well, how would I scale this in order for me to really kind of make this a significant part of my income versus an insignificant part of my income? Because really all this is marketing. This is really just you getting paid to market. This is not necessarily you getting, you know, a direct path to the riches, right? This is an indirect path to the riches via a community service offering. So what it's all that it is instead of you going out and driving around and saying, here's my card, and not having a call to action, now you're going out, driving around, having a call to action to a targeted audience instead of just who shot John, right? Now you're focused, hospitals, tow trucks, whoever else, and your call to action to this target audience is, hey, why don't you subscribe? And I'll give your customers free notarizations on that whatever day for, you know, however long you guys need me to, or, you know, based on my hours or whatever. So now you have a reason, they have a reason to do something other than put your card wherever they're going to put it. And when they do that something, it turns into money. So now it's either gas, dinner, lunch, light bill. You see what I'm saying? So this is the marketing really that, you know, we probably need to be doing anyway. And it doesn't have to be face-to-face. You can come up with this, you can do it online. You can do a Facebook social media campaign, Instagram campaign, targeting your audience that way. And it could totally be done online. You don't have to be driving around doing this, but it's a great way to do it though. If you did have like a handout, but with COVID, I know it's not feasible. But this is something that can be done either online marketing or in person in direct marketing. But let's just play with some more numbers, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So now you're out, what? Selling community service, selling the community service program. But it's such a, I don't know, wholesome sale, because you're not saying, I want you to, you know, pay me $30 or $60 or $100 a month. Then I'm going to still charge your people. What you're saying is, no, this subscription is just for you to offer a convenience to your tenants, to your employees, to your staff. You know, once a month, I just want to give back. And this seemed like a great way to be able to do it. Are you interested? If you're interested, go to my website, click on the QR code, QR code, and da 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 da. Because again, you don't want to be you're too busy doing other stuff. You don't want to get bogged down in this. It could be costly if you do that, right? But y'all chime in while I'm creating my little spreadsheet.
Monica, can you just drag from that first 300 that you made down and across?
Yeah.
To populate everything.
Holy smokes.
I don't know if Google Sheets is the same as Excel, but you like that little square. Yeah, you should be able to.
I know we ain't gonna make $21,600,000 on 600 million. Is that billion? Yeah, that's not right. So let's get all this out the way. And the formula is not copying and pasting, unfortunately. Like in Excel, like the drag. Let me try it again.
That sucks.
Yeah, no, it's not. So Sebastian, what are your thoughts? I couldn't wait to hear what you thought.
I like it. It looks like a good idea. I don't know. I guess I would have to flesh it out a little bit more, but I understand what you're saying. The marketing could be there. You definitely show up hospitals, nursing homes, any kind of long-term care facility, apartment complexes, schools would be a really great thing, especially right the month before, the month and the month of enrollment. Like people are probably trying to get in and do that when they need to. I can't think of anything else. Hospitals, of course, but.
All right, and here's the other thing about subscriptions is that, you know, people who can, you know, start and stop them whenever they want to most of the time. And they like that flexibility of being able to do that, right? So inevitably, there are going to be subscribers who start and then they're going to stop, and that's okay. You don't take it personally. Their budget may have changed or whatever the case may be. But that gives you an opportunity to, you know, just to touch base with them to see if there's anything that you can do. But I can see already, if I was going to do this, it would need to be worthwhile. And just looking at these numbers, it seems like I would set up my subscription for this right here. This looks like the bi-monthly one is probably the one to do. You know, set out where people know that you can come out twice a month. And then I would probably try to get, this looks like where the sweet spot is right here.
And what, Ron, do we even need to go out there?
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Oh girl, yes. That just changes the whole, yeah, that's right. Okay, so let me finish my little chart here.
Another place I just thought about, libraries and Chamber of Commerce.
And if you get pushed back on your subscription fee at the library or at the Chamber of Commerce or at a business, tell them, look, this way my time is I'll block my time off for you guys. Otherwise, I'll have to fill that slot with someone else. And by charging this nominal subscription fee, it lets me know that I have an obligation that I'm not going to schedule anything else on top of. That's just a rebuttal. If somebody says, well, I thought you were a notary. Why would you do this? Number one, somebody that says that after you've pitched the fact that you're going to be doing it for free for whoever else is in your pockets, and you probably need to turn the other way and just go to another business. Because to me, this is a very wholesome pitch. You as a business owner, subscribe at one of these rates, and then on that day, everybody that needs a notarization or whatever can come and get it done for free. That way everybody can plan around it. But like I say, inadvertently, what's going to happen is everybody's not going to be available to come on that day. And you're going to get that ancillary, that referral business outside of that, to which you're going to get your normal fee. Okay. And that's all going to be explained in your marketing on your website or whatever landing page you create just for this. Because, this is going to be a page on your website dedicated just to this, your community service program. All right.
And they use car lots as well.
That's a good one.
That was thanks to my partner. I was telling him about this because I'm taking notes. And he was like, man, what about, because we got a lot of used car lots up here. So he was like, they're going to need notaries.
And to know that you're on call. This is just see, the person or the business that signs up for this has been in a crunch and needed a notary public and either had to call somebody and, they got charged an exorbitant amount of money, or they had, they understand the value of having a notary public at their beck and call. Okay. That person is already, and it's going to be one of those things where you really shouldn't have to sell this. It's a community service program, which makes it easy for those of you who are not salespeople. This should be perfect for you, because people who don't like to sell don't want to feel like they're asking somebody for something. They don't want to feel like you're taking somebody's money away from them and maybe not giving them enough in return. Well, with this, that you don't have to do that, because what you're doing is you're going out and you're saying, look, I'm going to come out for a few hours, a couple of days a month, and just do notarizations for anybody here that needs them. I'm not going to charge you anything extra. It's just something I'm doing as a community service from my business. Does that not sound good?
And then coming from the accounting side of things, don't be scared to work on retainer. So for example, if you do it, like let's say an end of the year deal and you knock off, 10, 15%, if they pay in advance, a lot of bigger companies are going to be looking for something to throw money at so they can, change that tax bracket at the end of the year. So if you're like, hey, for the month of December, if you pay for all of 2021, you get 15, 20% off.
I like his way of thinking.
I like the way he's thinking. That right there is, I didn't even think about that, because at the end of this year, I was looking for stuff to put money in so I didn't have to give it to Uncle Sam. So there's something to be said about that, especially last quarter of the year.
Monica, I actually have a good program for you. I have this community service program I'm starting up.
Yeah. Okay, so my chart is done. So where would you say the sweet spot is? I see my sweet spot, but where would your sweet spot be? Because really all you're doing is you're going out, and your goal every month is to get subscriptions. Community service subscriptions to the tune that made sense for what you needed. If your mortgage is $1,800 or $700 a month, then guess what? If you got 10 businesses to agree to get you to come out twice a month, you just about knocked it out. And then there's going to be that one or two that can't come that day and say, you know what, Crystal was supposed to come out on Saturday, or Crystal's coming out on Saturday, but I know you can call her now if you really need something. And that might be that one, 40 or 50 bucks or whatever the case may be. But you're going to get some extra business outside of this just by you being the notary for that space. Diana, what do you think about this?
I like it.
Where would your sweet spot be? As far as, would you do the
I
monthly?
haven't decided. I got to figure out what's closest to me, because I got a different situation in Chicago, where it's congested.
Right.
So I'm going to be really particular about, this is easier to decide on, I guess, but other things are going to be harder because you have to park everywhere, if you go downtown, if you're servicing a hospital, parking and traffic is a huge issue here. So if I'm going out to like some car dealerships or further out hospitals or companies or whatever, then that's probably a little bit easier, but I don't want to have to travel so far because, we got nearly 3 million people here. I shouldn't have to travel too far for business.
Right, exactly. You know what? You brought up a great point. This is your baby. Like, be very particular about who you offer this to, right? This is not something that you just go willy-nilly offering it to everybody. And just hearing Diana talk, it just reinforced that in my mind. Like, this is not supposed to cost you money. This is supposed to make you money. And you don't need to be driving out to BFE and, for $30 a month. No, unless it's in your heart to do so. Now, if there's a community hospital that's further away and they need this service, then by all means do it. But just like in our general notary work, you guys, you want to make sure that the compensation matches everything. So if you do decide to go further out than normal, then definitely revisit what your standard monthly fees are, right? Just go ahead and factor that in. But I would definitely say, crafting this to your liking, you might only do hospitals, you might only do tow trucks, but this is just another great way to be able to create some predictable income and to provide a service and to market your business. So, all right, any questions, comments on that? And then we can go on to the next thing I want to talk to y'all about.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. So you guys take that, run with it, come back and tell the world. I cannot wait. Okay. So here's the other thing I want to talk to you guys about. And that is, where is it? I think this is it. Yes. Okay. Whew. So I've noticed with my own subscription service that, people's budgets are tight. Everybody's budget is tight. Okay. Maybe not everybody. Maybe like if you're super wealthy and all that, you don't have a tight budget, right? But for the rest of us, we all kind of have to watch our budgets. And so I've noticed that when it comes to people, they'll ask questions about Notary Nerds University. And the main thing they want to know is, before I commit my money, what am I going to be getting? And how, making sure that it's something that's worth it, because this money is coming out of the groceries or this or that or whatever. It's coming out of someplace else, right? That it's already been allocated to. I know I need this to help me grow my business, or I know that it will help me grow my business. So I want to make that investment in myself. But, I really have to be careful of where I'm spending my money, right? So I've always been, since the 3rd grade, like the underdogs, like the kid with the big thick glasses when he got made fun of. Like, I was the one that came to his rescue. Who I thought I was, or whatever the case may be, I don't know. But that's carried all the way through in my real estate brokerage, People First Realty. We put people first, not property. My whole mindset is about this underdog, like this advocating for the underdog. And when I got into the notary business back in October, got commissioned in September, in August, didn't get my stamp until in September. But what I realized quickly after joining all the notary groups, paying for all the notary training, watching all the notary videos at the NNA, and then all of the Tennessee Notary Titans and the Mark Wills and all, what I noticed was that the notary was at the bottom of the totem pole, right? I was like, broker minded.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you.
Go
The
ahead.
totem pole thing is terrible. Totem pole is more like an address or a story kind of thing. The figure on the bottom is not the least important.
The totem pole is a what now?
It's more like an address or a story thing.
Okay, I got you. So
Yeah,
what would you recommend I use as that analogy?
The intern, the coffee go-getter. I don't know. I'm trying to help because I did a lot of work in the museums up here, and that one and like igloos are a big lower 48 misconception that I keep trying to help everybody with.
Got you. I appreciate that. So the notary is the errand person in the overall scope of the industry. They're the kind of like here, and everybody, the title companies here, and of course the signers here, and you got the real estate people and the lender people here. But here's a notary, right? So
they go get the coffee.
They go get the coffee, okay? And you better get it how I want it. If you don't get it fast enough, and here's a couple of dollars for your time, right? That's the whole energy I got from all of that, is that the industry is upside right, and the notary is not at the top, okay? So advocacy thing clicked on in me. And so I'm starting to think, okay, well, how can we twist this around to make it worthwhile? And so long story short, that's where this came from, is that my personality is one that I tend to, and a lot of us are like that, I tend to kind of fight for the underdog a little bit more than most though, okay? So this affiliate program is designed around that. So I don't want anybody to be able to not to be able to take advantage of what's happening at Notary Nerds University because of money. So I created this affiliate program so that if you wanted to, you can sign up for free, it doesn't cost you any money. If you wanted to, you can share the links to these different programs, to these different membership options at Notary Nerds, and you can earn a 20% recurring commission, okay? So not only do you get 20% the first time somebody pays, but you get 20% every time somebody pays until they stop paying. And it's all automatic, and it's all done through the you get to log in and see how many sales you had and all that kind of thing, right? And so looking at just from a pure numbers point of view, if you're already telling people about Notary Nerds anyway, then you kind of want to do this because you're already telling people about it anyway. And if they clicked on your link, which you would get once you signed up, then you would get compensated. It's pretty simple. So then hopefully my hope and prayer is that you take this compensation and you make sure you can stay at Notary Nerds, right? But as you can see, you can do this a couple of ways. It could just pay for the subscription, or you could actually make money doing it. So that's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And so here's what it looks like. And yeah, it's super low key, easy, breezy. Again, the whole key with the subscription thing is you got to keep bringing value. If you don't bring value to people, it won't work. So what my role is to go out and keep bringing in value, finding those, individuals out in industry that have expertise in the notarial aspect of something that can add value to the notary, like Attorney Frazier did with us on Monday, right? So, and like Georgette is going to be doing with government contracting on Thursday, and like Annie is going to be doing with the apostille course. And these are going to happen every month. And so whenever I can find something new and great, I find something new and great. Now, will at some point, you may not need any of this. And so maybe you're only at Notary Nerds for 2 months or 3 months or whatever. But my point is, while someone is at Notary Nerds, if you have referred them to Notary Nerds, I want to reward you with a commission, is basically what that looks like. Questions, thoughts, comments?
I like it. I think it's a good idea.
Cool. Anybody else?
I like it too.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it had started earlier because I think I brought a couple of people to you, but
And I like it as well, Monica, because I am also a part of a few other Facebook groups, and I have taking a loan signing course prior to even knowing about Notary Nerds, and I wish I would have known about Notary Nerds first, but whatever it is meant to be. But I do appreciate the fact that you have this set up, and I do appreciate the fact that you also are always teaching us. So my full-time job is a middle school teacher, so I do appreciate this level of education. For me, I can say I'm loving everything. Even if I don't catch you all the time, most of the time I do. I'll go back and look at something, and it's not all the fluff, because I don't like all the fluff. Just tell me what I need to know, and all of that stuff. So I do appreciate that. It's simple, it's easy, and it's not, oh, you're gonna get rich and you can make $10,000. And I don't want to hear all that. I want to hear what it is, especially that even today with the wills and everything, that right there blew my mind.
Right.
But I do like the fact that, you are rewarding people instead of feeding us how much money we can make. That's like, $10,000 or more. So I appreciate this, because you got to start somewhere. And I think a lot of people are out there thinking they can start really big before they start small.
Yeah, I backed up off of, I honestly wouldn't have even gotten into the notary space if that marketing wasn't out there about how much money you can make, because I am money motivated. And first, let me say thank you, because that comment coming from a middle school teacher gave me so much life. And fun fact about me, I thought I could teach middle school. So I went through the Nashville Teaching Fellows program, because I love to teach. I love to teach. But I just don't love to teach people that you can't snatch up. So if they're under 18, that is. Obviously, adults, they can walk away, you can walk away. But yeah, so I got approved, and I went through the whole process, took all the tests and everything like that, went through the training, and was like, this is not for me. So my heart and my thanks go to you for putting on the full armor and going into that middle school every day.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes.
It's Vanessa. Yes, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I have a quick question. So I know that you like when we do courses, and at the end of them we take like the exams that go along with the courses. Do you have a badge?
No, I don't. That's a good. I've seen those, but I don't know how to do those. Like, how do you make a badge? Like, who do you get to do that?
I don't know.
You can get someone on Fiverr to do it. It's just an image. So you would just.
Because it would be another way for us to promote, like on our own websites, that this is here.
Maybe I'll get
Are you talking about like a design, or are you talking about the badge itself?
Like a design. I guess I thought that's what they call them, badges. You know,
yeah,
like the NNA seal, and it's a badge that you can pull off their website and put it on your website.
Yeah, or the LinkedIn badge, where you can post that and it shows everyone that you're on LinkedIn, or it can even be a link.
Are you guys talking about making a badge for Monica? Like Monica's seal of approval?
Yeah, like for Notary Nerds University.
Oh, you just make up anything you want. You can say you're the greatest in the world and make up a badge. I used to be in marketing for nursing homes, and we'd make up all kinds of crazy badges that said we were this or that, or we won this. It's just bullshit. Then make up whatever you want. I'm serious.
So I think I get what you're saying, Vanessa. In other words, like for the affiliates to have a graphic,
exactly. Yeah.
They could on something that somebody could click on, and it would be like a branded seal that would
so that they know that goes with Notary Nerds University.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like Notary Nerds certified or something like that. Is that kind of like what you're talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, something similar.
Nerd approved.
Kind of like the NNA has their badge, where it shows that you're NNA certified because you took the test or you took the exam or you've been background checked by them. They have a badge for that as well. So this would be just for notary nerds, and that either you're an affiliate or you've gone through a class or you're certified in a class or whatnot.
And see, that's the thing. It's right now at the very beginning of it, what I've learned in business and in life, and Sebastian helped me with this when we were starting out, is at the beginning, we'll just keep it real simple, but I totally feel where you're going with it, Vanessa. And I think it will like eventually get into that where I create something that the affiliate can put on their site. But like at the beginning, it'd just be like a link and you email it to whoever wanted it. And here's the other thing. Okay, I didn't go over this part. I told you that it would be recurring each month, but what I didn't go over was that your affiliate link is going to give them something that I am not even giving them. Okay? And that's a free trial, right? So a lot of people are like, should I do this or should I not? Well, a part of, if you're wondering, well, why would somebody like click on my link? Okay, why wouldn't they just, they're all in the Facebook group or they're all da-da-da-da, why wouldn't they just go to Notary Nerd University directly? Well, because I'm not offering a free trial. The only way that you can get a free trial is through one of the affiliates. And so I'm learning how to do that with the people at the platform place. So that's that's another thing. And then here, it's going to be paid once a month, just like I do with the instructors, right? So it's once a month, the last day of the month. And it's going to have this little bonus component to it. I think it's going to be like, okay, don't hold me to this, okay? But I think it's going to be for the first like 100 notaries who do at least like 10 memberships, that you'll get a $500 bonus at the end of that month, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Something that, rewards people for getting to that number, basically. And then it's free. It's not gonna cost you anything. Again, advocacy gene kicked in. People are saying, how much is this gonna be? Can I cancel anytime? These are all things that tell me, money is an issue. Or I'm also seeing some cancellations on the site. And I'm like, I don't want them to go, but I understand when people have to make changes to their budget. So advocacy gene kicks in and says, how do I make it easier for them to stay, right? And this is what comes to mind. And this is what came to mind, is this affiliate program. So there it is. That's all I got. Any questions?
No, I like it.
All right, cool.
Sounds like a plan.
Is it live now?
No, I just finished this part of it today. So, and I did a whole bunch of tutorials because I have to figure out how to get people, because you know how people are. They'll do a free $1, trial. It's not going to be a free trial. It's going to be $1 7-day trial. Then how do I keep people that have 4 email addresses like me, right? How do I prevent them from doing a free subscription every week and getting the whole kit and caboodle for $4? So Kajabi has a way for me to do that, and it involves tagging and stuff like that. So I had to learn that because I'm trying to figure this out myself, and I don't have anybody that I have on staff to do this for me. So as soon as I get that figured out, then I'm going to roll it out, and it'll probably be sometime this week for sure. But this way, now it doesn't have to be an expense for you. You can show it as an expense on your profit and loss statement every month, because you need expenses like this for your business, right? Legitimate expenses like this for your business. But on the other side of it, if there's a way for you to put it in the income column too, just from the affiliate income that offsets it, then to me, that's a good relationship. That's a good, to me, that's a friendship almost. It's like, okay, now we're together. We're working together. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. I think somebody's going to take it and go ham with it. So, and the other thing is, just be respectful of people's groups. You don't want to go and, tick anybody off by posting a link to something else that's not theirs in their group. And then they'll come to me and, so just, use all of the rules of the road, and maybe that'll be a part of the affiliate rule or whatever, just to be very respectful of where you're sharing it. Because I don't want to tick anybody off or, do anything like that. So, but yeah, what else? What else do we want to talk about tonight?
I think it'll be a good idea because, like, I just started back in October. I got my commission back in October, and I personally know somebody that started with me. Like, she's been a notary, but she's just now getting started in like the loan signing part of it. And so, and I've taken training. I've taken loan signing training, and I think she was gonna take Mark Willis. I don't know if she took him yet, but just to have something like this, I feel like it would be better. I feel like that'll be better, like going over stuff, because I don't really see any training for like apostilles. I don't know how you pronounce it. See, I don't even know.
Yeah. Apostille, or apostille. People pronounce it in so many different ways, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I haven't seen any training for it, and if it is, it's always an arm and a leg for stuff. And I was just looking at this guy on YouTube today, and he was like, "Why do you have to charge an arm and a leg for such little information? Like, you don't have to charge $500 for everything. Like, you can charge a small amount for providing information. You don't have to." Like, put a dent in people's pocket. You're supposed to be trying to help. You don't supposed to.
Right. And I'm a capitalist all day. So I'm all for, charging for what you're worth, but I'm a conscious capitalist. And conscious capitalism is just what you just said. It's still making money, but finding a way to make money in a way that's, not necessarily just about the money. Maybe there's some other, like, you got companies that are built around taking plastic out of the ocean. You got companies that are built around some other thing, but they're still making money. So I totally agree with you. And then too, all of these, instructors that have all this knowledge, I'm all for, back in the day, I charged, $4.95 for a course. I taught real estate agents how to develop a business in probate, and I charged for that because why? That information I earned and it was worth it. So I get it, but I just think now we're in a space and a time where, I ain't never been in a global pandemic before. This is my first one. Okay. So everybody's finances, the whole economy is different now. It's not just a segment of the economy. It's like most of us are in the same boat, like where, what, when, why, So I'm very cognizant and aware of that. And to your point, you don't have to beat people upside the head with, these big price tags. Yes, you're worth it. Yes, but there's always a way to figure it out if you want to. So I appreciate that feedback.
Right, thank you.
And it's Yaya, right? Yaya?
Yeah, it's pronounced Asia. I just looked on here because I said something, I think, at the last meet and greet when we're talking about the wedding officiant thing. But I noticed it's my full name. But yes, my name is Asia Shearer.
Asia. Okay, I love that. I love that spelling. I wouldn't have guessed Asia, but I love that.
Yeah, nobody ever guesses Asia, but yeah.
Anybody else?
Monica,
I would check with your state. Again, Alaska being weird, but if you are ordained, you can provide an unlimited number of wedding official. You can officiate an unlimited number of weddings.
Yes, except in Tennessee. And then what I found out too was the Universal Life Church, they actually got into a lawsuit with the state of Tennessee about it because they were saying that, they couldn't provide services. I guess Tennessee ended up winning because, but they actually had to take a lawsuit out on them because they were trying to,
Keep them from being able to be ordained. Is that company you were talking about?
Yeah, they were trying to keep them from doing the same-sex marriages and stuff, and so do it at all because because of that. So
Right. I tell you what, I don't know, marriage, I just, I see the money, I see all of that, but I don't know. I think it's just because I've been married twice. I take
I was
that
gonna say it gets fun. I officiated a wedding at the courthouse, and apparently it was a surprise to one of the party. And I saw him a month later at the courthouse, and I'm like, "Oh, I know what you're here for. It's right over there. It's the blue packet. It says divorce."
See, and that's why I'm not cut for that. I don't want to look at them and say, y'all will be divorced in about 2 years. Trust. I don't want to have that air because I know I'm going to be throwing that off. So,
I'll do it.
because some of them you can tell ain't gonna make it, but you can't say that, and you got to be happy and you got to be excited. But I've got one of those faces that's hard to.
Well, Minister Wilder, maybe in a few years you can put that certificate you got the other day as an ordained minister to use.
Maybe if I see somebody, if I see a young lady walking up talking about she getting ready to marry a fool, I'm gonna tell her, look, sis, I know you want me to marry you to this fool, but you don't need to do it. And there goes my career right there. So
For whatever it's worth, it does get fun because you get some more different exposure than you do at the loan signings and stuff.
True.
They're like, let's go, try and do this. I'm like, did you rent the park? Because if you didn't, we're gonna have a jogger through your ceremony. You got to plan ahead with these things. What's the weather look like?
Right.
You don't want to use paper and then it ends up raining and now you got trying to clean up and you're basically just on your hands and knees picking up the smallest pieces ever.
Right. Yeah, no thanks. Now, in my farming space, once I get my, the land that I really want to do my farm, will I have weddings as a thing? Of course. Maybe then I'll, get into that whole officiating thing. But there is a great opportunity for those who want to get into the wedding officiating. I mean, a great opportunity. There's just all kinds of opportunity with our commission that are available. So,
Monica, I have a question for Richard. I don't want to mess the name up, but last name Richard, I think.
Yeah, it's his first name. You're good.
Okay, all right. So I have a question about the wedding officiant. This is something that you do, and you said something about you asked them, did they rent the park? So are you just an officiant, or do you have like a package where you put together for them or anything like that?
Oh, I am not fiery enough to be a wedding planner.
Okay.
But usually I will go through some basic questions like I do with any client. I usually do the accounting side stuff. My notary is the fun stuff that gets me out of the office.
Okay.
And so if they're like, oh, we're going to have it at this park. Well, I know just in general knowledge, you have to rent city parks. If you want to use that gazebo, you can't say, oh, I'm sorry, we're having a party here. You have to get a permit that says you've rented out the gazebo. That way you're not just kicking people out of a public space saying, we're here first, get out of my face, I don't like you.
Okay.
And so depending on what they do or how they go about it, again, I went too deep with this. I was like looking up random ceremony things. And that way I was prepared for, if people want to do candle ceremony, ring ceremony, break this, break that ceremony, all hand tying ceremony and all that. So I was doing all kinds of research, trying to plan ahead. And if you look up generally, it might be called something different, but it's like Parks and Recreation. They have online, it might be online, but they have a way that you can rent public spaces like the park and structures that are on public land, so like a cabin or whatever they would have in your area.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then also, if you do the wedding stuff, know where your Department of, not the census, but the department, of course, is escaping me right now. I'm gonna look it up really quick. But know the steps before and after you. So, for example, if they come to me, it's, are you going down to the courthouse and getting the paperwork, or am I going down to the courthouse and getting the paperwork? If you're going to have your wedding at this time, we should meet earlier to actually get the paperwork done. That way you can get it turned in and, you know, filed with the federal office that I'm not remembering right now. Because you can do that paperwork within, for us, it was like 7 days of the ceremony.
Okay.
That way you can't be like, oh yeah, we already did our paperwork, and like 2 months later get married in Hawaii or something weird.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But if you go down to the courthouse, at least our courthouse, I guess I can't talk too wide, but our courthouse has a packet like, oh, you want to get married. These are the things you have to do. You know, if you get married by an officiant, this is the way that you follow, you know, choose your own adventure, go to page 7, and now you start reading there. And then after that, you have to take your paperwork down to this federal office and drop off, you know, form 3 down back at the courthouse.
Okay. Wow.
That is a good tip, to go down to the courthouse and just get that packet for those people. Yeah, that was a really good tip, Richard. Thanks for sharing that. For those
And that packet comes with a state, you know, so if you want to do a non-denominational anything, the state usually provides, you know, by the power of the state of Tennessee or whatever, you know, I now pronounce you husband and wife, you know, wife and wife, husband and husband and such.
Right. Like, it seems like to me, there's a great opportunity for somebody who wants to just put that in their portfolio of services and really niche out in it. If you hadn't thought about it, I would definitely give it some consideration, because again, it's about what are you doing to maximize your dollars per hour. Not to be lazy, but you want to do as little work as possible and bring back the biggest return, right? So that's if you're trying to do this from a business point of view. That's the goal in business, right? Is to give, but not to overgive to where it's costing you money. So figuring out, okay, a loan signing, like, you know, my girl Katie, okay, so she's with Land Title. She was like, Monica, I had a pretty good day the other day. She had a really good day. And then she said, you know, and I won't tell you how much, but because that's her business, but she was like, but I drove 2 hours to one and an hour to the other and an hour. And I started thinking to myself, yeah. And she was thinking the same thing. She was running a lot of gas, a lot of mileage. So it was a good day, but was it a good day? So looking at other streams of income, like sitting at home and doing remote online notarizations for attorneys, or, you know, these niched out places, or doing a crazy big social media campaign where you get businesses to subscribe to and that's all you do. And maybe your calendar's just up full with that, but you've decided to go in on that. And then just your calendar is made up of these days that are subscription days. And you don't have to really worry about where the money's coming from, because you've created this beast that, yeah, people are going to unsubscribe from. But if you really look at it, this is the perfect scenario for one who is going to do a signing service like myself, right? I put mine on hold because I started out looking to do general notary work through the Google ad. My theory was there was no competition for the keyword notary near me. So my theory was I could go and pay for some Google ads, capture the attention for notary near me, have notaries in various parts of the country. And when somebody searched for notary near me or near one of my notaries, they would click, they would fill out an application, and then they would call my toll-free number if they needed a question asked, and it was just gonna be perfect. And I was supposed to be rich by now, right? Well, guess what? That didn't happen, because general notary work doesn't work that way. People don't go online, click notary near me, and then want to fill out a whole bunch of shit, okay? They want a notary. So I had to revamp, ended up doing this. But the thing is, once you figure out where the money flow comes in heavily, that's when you start your signing service. So to me, it's either going to be the notary permit runner, or Ron, or this. So my signing service, which is complete signings, is hovering around those 3 things as the I guess, thing that makes it rain. Just like with a real estate brokerage, you have to have some leads coming in order for the agents, you know, not really, because most agents find their own leads, bad example, but on a team, let's say if you're on a real estate team, in order for you to join that team leader has to be doing something of value to you, and that's putting you on a deal, finding you business or whatever. Similar to a signing service, a notary signing service. You're not going to sign up with a signing service that's not sending you any money, that's not sending you any business. So before you start thinking about starting a signing service, you need to know where where it's raining at. And I thought it was raining on Google Ads. It's raining on Google Ads, but you kind of have to know how to capture that rain. And my bucket was like this. It was like my shot glass, okay? There's lots of stuff happening, and my bucket's like a shot glass, and I threw some sprinkles up in the air, which was the little money I had. I threw it in the air and was hoping that that's not how it works. So instead, next time out, what I'm doing is I'm not going out. I've got my database of notaries already set, but I'm not going out until I can figure out how I can make it rain. And to me, it's going to be from either the subscription or the Ron or the, what was the other thing I said? The Ron, the subscription, or the notary permit runner. Apostille, that I would refer that out. I'm going to refer all my apostille stuff out to, you know, somebody who knows how to do it. Annie, you know, she's done it. She knows how to do it. Because to me, that's too complex for my brain. I don't want to be responsible for messing something like that up. I'm not, you know, my attention span is too much for me to sit and learn it. And so I'm just not. Wedding officiant, I'm not. You know, there's some things that I'm just not. But as a signing service owner, you want to think in terms of how can I have enough business coming in to where, like say with this subscription, you know, let's just say I could get complete signing, some marketing out there, and I find 40 businesses to sign up at the bi-monthly level. Now I can go in my little happy notary database and say, hey, Deborah, I have a group home that needs a notary on Saturday, the 25th, and again on Saturday, the 31st. Would you be open to doing that for $100 that day each? See what I just did? I just made it worthwhile for Deborah to go out and do those signings, you know, as long as I don't have her out there all day. You see what I'm saying? She might be willing to do that. So, and if she isn't, then I would go down the list, right? Because it's my community service thing. But now I've got enough of these to where if I've got enough of them going, then I'm just calling notaries saying, hey, would you? And then I'm paying them out of this pie, right? So it definitely has the ability to really support a signing service model for sure. Just depending on, you'd have to go super big with your marketing though. And once you went big with your marketing and you got all these subscriptions, you would need to have notaries on the ready that were skilled in general notary work, because that's all you're going to be doing. So. Hold on, my son just said a word that he did not have any business saying. I heard him on the game. You know what? I'm going to wait till I get off of this and handle that, because I think that if I did it right now, it just spoiled the whole mood. But yeah, what do you guys think about the signing service stuff?
I like the community program. I think for people that people that have a primary job during the daytime, it's just kind of hard, you know what I mean, to kind of figure out times that are beneficial for a business like that when you're trying to
that is true.
part-time basis.
So you're saying that somebody who works full-time and is trying to build something like this part-time, it would be kind of a challenge?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and because then what you're doing is you're basically going to be on your days off, giving those days off up, and that's a big give. You know, if you're working full time and you wanted to institute this community service program and you're only off on Saturday, well, you know, that's your only off day. Do you really want to be posted up in the leasing office somewhere? You know, so there is that would have to be factored in. But you know, it's just an idea. It's going to take, you know, some creative minds to make it work, you know, in your local market or whatnot. But one thing I learned in sales, I've been in sales. Go ahead, Vanessa.
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay, my bad. One thing
Yeah. It just depends on how you look at it though. Like, because it's your business and yeah, it's your off day, but you're only taking a few hours out of that time. You're not gonna spend your whole off day there. You're gonna take a few hours out of it. And you have to give and take. This your business. If you want to expand it and get more potential clients, you have to take that time out to do it.
Yeah, that is true now. That is true.
I'm just saying for like a part-timer, like as a business, why would that be beneficial if, like, you know what I mean? Like if people that you actually need to reach out to that are going to be able to say, yes, I'm going to pay you $60 a month, but they probably want to see you there during the daytime. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're saying that, in other words, the decision maker, you're saying if I'm working full time and I'm trying to market this, the decision maker is going to want to probably see me during business hours.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, you will find that to be true. Another thing though that's true about sales is all a numbers game. Like, you know, it's one of those things where 1 out of every 5 things is gonna happen. So no matter what, it's just the law of averages. So you're gonna find those businesses who are definitely gonna want to make sure they see you, feel you, know you before they pull the trigger. But because you're going to be throwing so much marketing out there, and when I say throwing marketing, I'm going to show you what I mean real quick. I wouldn't do a whole lot of running around on this one. This one I would totally do from a social media point of view. It's just going to be a pure numbers game. So let's go take a look at the the Facebook situation here. All righty, here, let's go. How do I share my screen again? There we go.
Hey, Monica.
Hey, Sebastian.
Hey, it's been fun, but I'm about to go crash. I'm dying here.
Okay,
So,
thank you for being on the call. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I did have a bit of good news, though.
What?
I was able to get my RON.
Yes! Okay, Sebastian, when you can, do that Attorney Will's class.
I will.
Okay, and get you some rest.
Thank you so much. You guys have a good night.
Okay. All right. So for instance, okay, so let's say you had this as on your business Facebook page and you're promoting your community service program. Let's just pretend that that's what this is. So what you would do is you would come over here to Boost. And this is what keeps you from having to run around town and get postcards with the QR codes and do leave behinds and all of that. So it kind of keeps you from having to be in front of the person. But to Vanessa's point, there will be businesses that want to know who you are, right? Some of them don't care because a notary is a commodity entity to most people. One notary is as good as the next notary, is as good as the next notary, is as good as the next notary. If it was a real estate agent or an insurance person or something like that, then yeah, you probably do have to have more of a know, like, and trust relationship. Not saying you don't as a notary, but to most people, they just put, oh, you're a notary? Okay, that's fine. They don't necessarily need to see your reviews, in other words. So let's just say you're out and you're just doing the social media marketing. You would basically target the audience that you would want to go after. So let's just say we're going after, I guess leasing managers would be a good one to target. So I would create a new audience. And this is how you do that in Facebook. Obviously, you would have to have a business Facebook page. Or you know what? Let's do tow truck people. All right, so all probably not 18. I'll probably started around 35 and up. I'm not gonna just look at Murfreesboro. Maybe I look at, if I was doing a signing service, I would look my whole state. But since I'm just doing just to get things started, I would look at the biggest city near me, and then the cities that I'd be willing to go to. Well, why is it not giving me my city? Oh, maybe because I've got Nashville. Sometimes when you select the big city, it will automatically include the other cities. Okay, so let me get to more people, because again, at the bottom, it's telling me I have fewer than 1,000 people in this search of mine that I'm putting together. Oh, because it's wanting me to keep on. I see what I did. I'm in the detailed targeting section looking for locations. I should be up here. That's what the problem was. So let's come up here. Let's type Nashville. There we go. Now we're cooking with some oil. Okay, Murfreesboro, that's where I am. Laverne. No? There we go. Smyrna and Antioch. Everything on the way out to me and on the way back in. Okay. All right. So this is the location. So you basically select the area that you would be willing to do these community service visits in. And once you've selected your geographical region, now you come down to detailed targeting. And so who did I say I wanted to focus on? Tow truck people? Ah, well, would you look at there? Tow truck driver, tow truck operator, two perfect demographics to target. It would be even better if they were listed as employer targeting. In other words, if they were, hold on, let me see if I can find an example. Sometimes Facebook will allow you to select people who have tow truck driver listed as employer. So that way, you know for sure you're getting people who actually work at a tow truck place versus people who are just interested in tow trucking, right? So this is kind of like a crapshoot a little bit, right? Because when you get tow truck driver as a interest, that's exactly what it is. Somebody who is interested in tow truck driving. Now with Facebook, that interest could mean that they are a tow truck driver, but the way you know for sure that that's what that means is if it says employer under, like where it says, let me show you. If this tow truck driver, if it had the word employment underneath there instead of demographics, then that's how you know, oh, this person actually has tow truck driver listed on his Facebook profile as his employer and what he does or she does. That's how you know you for sure got one. But this still isn't bad, okay? So as you notice, tow truck driver and tow truck operator were the two pre-populated options that Facebook gave me. And it's telling me that the potential reach is fewer than 1,000 people. So it's too specific. So I need to figure out what I need to do in order to make it bigger. So I might need to expand my horizons. Okay, so even when I look in the whole state, it still doesn't, it's too tight of an audience. So that's not necessarily a good thing. And I got both men and women selected. Let me bring the age down a little bit and see if that does it. Bringing the age down didn't work. Okay. All right, so this is it. It doesn't have enough people and it probably would not be a good idea. So let's go and let's find somebody else. Let's do, who are the people at the hospitals that make the decisions on, that's too broad. Let's do leasing managers. Ooh, that gave me another idea. Commercial leasing agents. they actually are going to have the leg up as far as these retail offices, the office buildings. That may be a good way to go. So let's go ahead and get them. Okay. Still a very tight audience. Both of them are very tight. So let's just go, let's do this. Let's do tow truck and leasing agents. Let's keep adding people until, property management is what did it. You see what happened? I jumped to 110,000 people. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here and get rid of some of these. I don't want to do the whole state no more. I'm going to go back and start out where I was at. Still good, folks. I love it. Got 31,000. As long as this is here, your audience is defined, you're good. When you see anything that says your audience is too small or you might want to rethink about it, you need to revisit something, either your locations or your detailed targeting. So let me go ahead and put Murfreesboro in there now. And I think that's good. Okay, you got a defined audience. When it's telling you your audience is defined, then you're good. And just for future reference, you know, look at what I'm choosing here: property management, commercial, tow truck driver. So you don't know who you're going to get, right? That's going to respond to your program, but you're going to save this audience. And then you're going to come down here and you're going to say, oh yeah, that's not my normal budget. So then you're going to come down here and you're going to say, you know what? I want to try it out for 5 days. My total budget is $30 total. Okay, this gives you an affordable way to be able to check out your marketing. And it's going to tell you up here, estimated daily results, the people reach 355 to 1,000, and estimated number of link clicks between 20 and 62. And remember what I said, and this is just a rule of thumb, 1 out of every 5 things is going to happen. So if 19 people click on your page, it doesn't mean that all 19 are likely to subscribe. So 1 out of every 5, so 20% of that is who you would expect to either go to your website to learn more information, and then from that number, 20% of those people would be likely to do something affirmative. So let's just say those 20 people went to your website, and of those 20 people clicked, and of those 20 people that clicked, 4 people actually went to your website. And of those 4 people, 1 person, or 0.8, well, you can't be half of a person or a proportion of a person. So one of those people subscribe. So that's how you come up with kind of forecasting your numbers and how much it's going to take for you to get what you want to have happen. The other thing is you have to have a really good call to action. Your graphic has to be good on your Facebook post. In other words, let's go back over here. Well, before I leave here, does anybody have any questions? And you see here, if I take it up a notch, so you say, well, how could I make money? Well, if I decided to implement this community service program on a more full-time basis, then my full-time job is playing with this to see how many people I can get to go to my well-designed website with all my community service stuff on there, showing how great I am, that has a built-in calendar system that allows for somebody just to click and pay and start their subscription, and allows for that to happen recurring without me touching it. That's a whole model by itself, right? So if I was going to do that and I was going to create that beast, then I would probably do a little bit more here. Okay, I may take this up a notch, because out of these, 64 to whatever people that click, I know that only 20% are going to do something on my site. You don't have to really worry about it. 1 out of every 5 things is going to happen. So it's just a numbers game. And then from there, now you have a way to be able to kind of forecast things. But If your call to action sucks or your graphic looks homemade, it ain't gonna work. Period. Okay. So you go ahead and go to Fiverr and have them, don't go to Canva, go to Fiverr and pay somebody to make you the graphic for your community service program that looks professional, fresh, modern, makes people want to click. So I want to show you real quick an example of that, and then we'll wrap up. We'll take any last questions and then we'll wrap up. See this here? Need a permit runner. See that post I made? It's not a bad graphic, right? But it's homemade. I made it in Canva. It was just a quick, selected a construction thing, and I just put the text over the top of it, and that's it. Okay. This.
You have someone that you recommend in Fiverr or no?
I do. I'll share that in the group.
Okay.
The gentleman that did this is the one I would recommend, and then the person that did my logo, I got them off of Fiverr. I'll make sure I put both of their information in the Notary Nerds group. But you see this graphic here? This graphic looks like somebody, is not homemade, at least, right? So when you institute or implement any marketing, definitely, especially on social media, do not go homemade. If you want your call to action, if you want people to click, you need to make sure that your graphic and your design and your call to action is top notch as it can be and simple, right? You don't want to have a whole bunch of words and everything like that. Just tell them what you want to do, give them a reason to do it by a certain time. Call to action on this community service program is first visit free. Maybe you do that, just to get your foot in the door, and maybe you're only there for an hour. You know what I'm saying? You can create this reason for them to sign up that's irresistible, right? So your call to action could be, just imagine this saying, community service program, free notarizations for your employees or for your customers or your tenants or whoever you're targeting. And, visit twice a month. And then over here, it may say first visit free if you subscribe by, or do what I'm about to do with you guys on the affiliate program. Get started for $1, right? Give them a trial and let that trial be $1 and then take it from there, right? But then of course, now you got to get into the software, and Kajabi is a platform that I know you can do it on, but that's an investment of a couple $100 a month. So I don't know if you want to do that right off the bat, but there may be other things out there that allow for people to get a trial, or maybe if they don't have a trial, they have a coupon code that you can use. So, it's going to cost you about $30 for your website a month. And maybe, maybe you have to get a different website from your normal website, or maybe not. But the end of it all is this is a means for you to be able to generate some recurring cash flow in a really cool and wholesome way that's not money grabby, right? You're providing a service and no one can deny that. Who's going to post up and do notarizations for free for a business for a few hours? Nobody. You'd be differentiating yourself in a big way. So, all right. Any last minute questions, thoughts, concerns?
Monica, I do have a question for the permit runner. I see it's scheduled for, I believe, the 23rd.
Yes.
All right, so we're still good for the 23rd. She's feeling better. Miss Cynthia's feeling better.
She is, and we talked last Saturday, and she was, I was trying to get her back on the schedule like for this week, but this Tuesday she had a Ron signing for a title company that didn't want to use anybody but her. And then this Thursday she sits on her church's board. She's like the finance person, and I guess this is like a big mega church, and they have this, financial meeting once every, the third Thursday or something. So had that not been the case, she would have added those dates back. But she is confirmed for the 23rd and the 25th. Challenge is the apostille for notaries course and her second day, Miss Cynthia's second day of her notary permit runner are on the same day. So there's going to be a little conflict there. You're going to have to make a choice of which one do I go to live and which one do I watch the recording. Because unfortunately the instructors teach at their leisure. Well, fortunately for them, But unfortunately for us, sometimes their leisure happens to conflict with each other's schedules. So, but yes, to answer your question, Suzette, she's good. She's ready. She's excited. So
I'm glad she's feeling better.
yeah.
What's the professional website to go to have someone build your website? Or what did you guys say?
I love GoDaddy, Crystal. I
have that, but I'm not like completely satisfied with my. I mean, it's okay, but
clutch my pearls. What? You're not happy with your GoDaddy website?
I mean, it's okay. That's all right.
Okay. Well, I just love it. I tell you, I've got several here. Let me just show you real quick.
Maybe I'm just being picky. I don't know.
Yeah, Angie, they're easy. They're fun to build. They're super like user friendly for if you're not a techie. You can really easily build it and really quick. And I have an e-commerce aspect to really all of my sites. So there's my, well, not this one yet. I'm starting, that's my real estate site. And this is my farm site. And see, this has a thing where you can actually, you know, set it up. So I pay $30 a month and I have that. And I can go in here and change anything. And it's so easy. So I would say play around with it, Crystal. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's not for everybody, but I completely 100%, what you call it? Love me some GoDaddy. And I'm not even an affiliate. Like,
all right, I'll play around with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
When is your next Zoom meeting? I apologize.
No problem. It's gonna be next Wednesday, because this one is our meet and greet is kind of low key. We just kind of chop it up. And so every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Central Time. And then on Saturday, hopefully I get my book. We can get back on top of book club Saturday morning at 9 Central. The links for both this meeting and the book club will be always in Notary Nerds Facebook group in the events. And then outside of that, we've got some classes coming up, but then you have to be a member at Notary Nerds to take advantage of those. You can just visit Notary Nerds University and see what we got going there. Calendar though, just so you kind of know what's happening, it's going to always be in the group in the announcement section.
I downloaded that one already.
Okay, cool.
So is it going to be in both groups now? I see there's two. Is everything going to always be in both or just the university?
Okay, great question. I'm glad you asked that. So I can't remember. Shelly Poteet, it texted me and she was like, hey, Monica, do you think that we could create a separate group for just the students so that we can kind of bounce things off of each other and this, that, and that, and the third? And I was like, you know what? Managing another group. Yeah. But you know what? You have a good point. So when it comes to just general information, I will still keep doing everything I'm doing in the regular Notary Nerds group, right? Everything will still get dumped into that group because that's the group. But over here in the student group, we're going to kind of be able to talk more freely about the courses and go back and forth about what we're learning. Because in the big Notary Nerds group, you know, everybody hasn't, subscribed or paid. And if you've subscribed or paid, then you start giving away all this information that they haven't subscribed or paid to. That's not really fair to the instructor, to everybody else who's paying, and that kind of thing. So the Notary Nerds University private group, just for the students, gives a space for people to be able to do that kind of stuff, right? And I'm thankful for Shelly for bringing that up. So does that answer, hopefully, your question, Crystal?
Yes, thank you.
Any more questions?
Wait, I have one other question.
Okay.
So what do you use for your e-commerce on your website? Where? No, I mean for like payments.
Oh, is it Stripe or Square? I think on one of my sites is Square, because I only have one that actually I have e-commerce, and I believe it's Square. Let me just. I can't remember if it's Square or Stripe. I know I've got Square. I think it's Square. And Square is free, and you can pretty much plug into that fairly without a whole lot of hassle. As a matter of fact, there's a little mini course that I put together on that. I need to revisit it to show you how to set up your Square and everything like that. You can do that, or I think even PayPal. You can integrate your PayPal with most of these sites. And then I think Stripe, Square, Stripe, and PayPal are some 3 options that come to mind.
Okay.
Monica,
Uh-huh.
the Square course, I tried to go into that and it didn't pull up anything. Did I do it right, or is nothing there?
No, let me go to it. Let me go to it and see what's going on, because it should be there. But again, it was targeted to the general notary work team, and it needs to be the class needs to be redone, period. But let me go see what's going on real quick. Okay, so you should see my screen here in just a second. And then, oh, wrong one. Let me share. There we go. And I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Let me see if there's anybody in the chat that needs a question answered real quick. Okay, cool. Y'all are just chit chatting. Okay, so here's the Square. So once you get into this course, you click here. Let's see here. So here it is. It's just a quick little. All right, guys. So this is the video about Square and what you need to do. This is a quick little 5-minute how to set it up. But again, it's setting it up as if you were going to be signing up with Complete Signings as a notary. What I need to do is create a video, which I'll do before the week is over with, that shows you how to set up your business to receive payments out in the field by utilizing Square. So instead of setting it up through the link that I would send through this video, or as I instruct in this video, it would be more on you're setting this up yourself, and potentially could have other people that you pay out that sign up under you. So
okay, yeah, that's kind of one, because I ordered the Square and it was more to see like for payment when I do general notary work.
Right. So what I'm gonna do is I just wanted to check in and see what was going on with the video. So this video is in here, it looks like, but
okay.
But it definitely is going to be changing here. So if you just want to wait a couple of days, okay, I'll make an announcement and let you know it's updated.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Would that include like the payments like via the website? Like if you're trying to do Ron, do you know what I mean? How they would pay?
Right. So I would definitely set up a Square. Square is so awesome because it lets you create a space for all your stuff. You can set everything up, and I'll do this in the video too, but I'll go ahead and show you guys now.
So if we're already set up from the G&W builder, how do we set up, like, because I'm already in there, but I don't know how to set up like my calendar and stuff.
Right. So you're in there, but you're not in there as your own business, right? You're just in there as someone who has signed up under my business. But what so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and deactivate your stuff from that point of view with Complete Signings. And that way, because when you have the one email, you can only, yeah. So what's going to happen is when you get ready to do your Square and set it up, you can actually come over here and set up your appointment calendar, just clicking on appointments. And I'll go through all of this in the whatchamacallit, in the video. But you can set up your calendar, your services here. So you're asking like, how would you charge for Ron? You could actually come here, set up a service library, and create a service. And
is that all free?
What was that?
Is it all free?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Exactly. It is definitely free. So say you come in here and you say, 1 hour Ron, or maybe your Ron is a default 1 hour. You default 1 hour to a 1 hour appointment to the Ron. And see categories, maybe just put here 1 hour Ron, remote, online, notarization, location, da 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 da. And so maybe your fee is $75. All right, and duration, you're telling it it's gonna be no more than an hour. All right. And then here you have to go in here and you can add processing time. So that will allow for people to kind of double book. I don't do that. I wouldn't recommend that. Rather, you can block extra time. If you think that you'll need 5 minutes on the back end of that appointment, you can set that up to give you a little buffer so nobody can immediately schedule right behind that appointment. Bookable by customers online. And so once you get done doing all of these things to it, now you've got your Ron set up. You hit save. And let's go to the link so that you can see. How do you get to the link? Hold on, let me see.
But for me, Monica, I need to deactivate what I already had set up through you.
Yeah,
right?
you don't even have to do anything. I can actually just do it over here under team.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I think I've already deactivated you. Yeah, I
Really?
did.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're good. Your email should be fine. You're not here anymore. I just left the people that were here that are instructors, and even Dominique, she probably doesn't need it. Right now.
Okay, so I can go in there. I can go under that same account or just start over new.
You start over new. Yeah, you want to create.
Okay.
You want to go to Square, and you want to create a new account.
Create a new account. Okay,
right.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let me show you guys real quick what it looks like to somebody else. I'm trying to figure out where the links are. Where are they? Oh, website. There we go. Where is it at? I need to get refamiliarized with this because there's a place that shows you what your website will look like or what your link, your calendar and all that stuff will look like. Let me go over here. And see here, it's all free and you can do all this extra stuff, but I wouldn't. I would not. Where in the devil is the dadgum do folly? Let's go back to the beginning. When all fails, go back to the dashboard. Okay. So you can send an invoice, take a payment, but I want to see the link that there's a link that you can actually click on. All right. That's that.
So Monica, this is all on your website?
Now this is on Square. But as far as yeah, now I don't have Square I have whatever GoDaddy does is what I have. I'm not sure if they use Square or
so anyone that has Square will be able to do this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I just ordered Amazon, so it hasn't come in.
Okay, you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I can't exactly go right to where I want to go yet, but they will. There is a place where you can send people a link to a site, and it's actually your website, and they can pay for your services there. So, Suzette, to answer your question, it's possible for you to set up that Ron and send them a link or send them an invoice, and they'll be able to click, and the money come directly to your Square account. Now there is a 2.whatever% processing fee. So when when you start figuring out your fees for things, always calculate that into the situation. But I'll figure this out and get an updated, and here you can order a free processing card, right? You can do all kinds of stuff for free.
Okay.
But so yeah, I'll get all this tightened up a little bit, and I'll be better equipped to do the video so you guys can know, and I'll make sure I get that updated before the end of the week. But outside of that, that's all I had, guys.
Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome. You guys have an awesome
week.
Thanks, Monica.
Oh,
Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys.
So Monica, where were you gonna put the information about the Fiverr?
Oh,
people
you
who
know what?
live-
Let's go ahead and do that now. I'll go ahead when we get off of this call and go ahead and go over to Notary Nerds and put that the general Notary Nerds group, and I'll go ahead and put that information in there now.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Welcome. Thank you for being here, Deborah.
Okay, stay
Good night,
safe.
everybody. Be
Good night,
safe, everybody.
Everybody
Good
be
night.
safe.
You too. Be safe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one.
You too.